What is going on, FA Nation? John Member here with Howard Bender. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. Today, we are looking at a 6-game main slate for Monday evening. Howard, pretty interesting slate for the notable names that are the projected starters, because we have a handful of guys returning from the injured list here. Some long-awaited returns, some guys that we were high on coming into the season that got hurt early on. And for 6 games, this is maybe one of the more interesting pitching slates that we've had when it comes to these smaller slate sizes.
Well, because, I mean, do you really want to put your trust into them? You know,
Right.
Walker Buehler going up against Miami, it's a great matchup, 100% great matchup here for Walker Buehler. But how many pitches is he going to throw? How deep into the game is he going to go? And do you really want to spend $9,300 on a guy who, could only go 4 innings if Miami, shows some semblance of plate discipline? So I worry about that. Justin Steele coming back against the Padres. The Padres are white hot right now. They're looking good against right-handed pitching. And so, I'm not really like that into, Justin Steele. Again, what we have to do is we have to look at some of these guys, these pitchers who are coming back from injury, and realize that pitching injuries are so prevalent right now because guys are all throwing their breaking stuff, and it's as hard as you can with as much spin as you can on every pitch. So this first time back, I feel like managers are going to kind of hold back. So yeah, I don't really want to invest in Buehler. I definitely don't want to invest in Steele at this point here against San Diego. And of course, I'm not going to use Braxton Garrett coming back against the
Dodgers,
the Dodgers, right? So it definitely, what it does to me though is it limits our pitching possibilities here even more so, because yes, people are going to throw down Buehler into a GPP tournament if they're multi-lineup people. But if you're a 1 or a 2 person, 2 lineup person, then you really kind of have to avoid these guys.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think what's going to be interesting here, I'm less worried on Steele. I guess if anything, maybe towards the matchup against the Padres that could scare you off. The injury that he had, just the hamstring. Obviously, they built him up a little bit over during his rehab starts. Like, I'm not as concerned about Justin Steele, but we know that the way the Dodgers handle their starting pitchers, that they, he'll limit. Dave Roberts will limit the innings that he throws and the pitches that he throws as they ramp him up, even if they built him up enough in the minor leagues. Like, he is very cautious with the way his starting pitchers are to start seasons generally as is. So, at $9,300 out of the jump, I can't go there. If he was $7K, maybe I'd give it a little bit more consideration, because we know how elite he can be and how bad Miami is. But yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you there. The interesting part, I think, is going to be Luis Castillo, because we talked a lot about it here. Notorious slow starter. And now you look, last couple of starts here at Colorado, in course, tough spot, bad lineup, still shut them down. In Texas, good lineup, shut them down. Against Atlanta, 7 shutout. The corner has been turned here, it seems like, for Luis Castillo. Now, he has been historically a better home pitcher for Seattle than on the road, but Minnesota presents obviously an elite potential for strikeouts here, and he's $9,600. I would assume that he's going to be the most popular pitcher on this slate, just based off the matchup and his current run and name notoriety. But if you're not pitching some of the other top end guys here, where do you go down into the mid tier? Do you attempt a Yu Darvish or a Mania Gibson? Simeon Woods Richardson's on the other side, and that's in that matchup with some strikeout upside against Seattle. 6 games, your pitching options are a bit slim.
They're very slim. I mean, I would probably tilt towards Mania going up against the Cardinals. Cardinals they've been a weak team as is, and Mania has actually looked pretty good, strikeout per inning kind of a guy. Yeah, the walks are a little bit on the high side, but he's definitely limited the damage, and we've talked about this St. Louis lineup. It's just classically falling apart right now. Yeah, they're going to at some point get Dylan Carlson and Tommy Edman back, but for the time being right now, I think Mania is in a good spot to use. I actually don't mind Cole Reagans. I know that he's dealing with that calf cramp, which is why he's got that day-to-day sign in him there.
Yeah.
But Milwaukee has been super soft against left-handed pitching, especially since Yelich went down. And and you look at them, and they're just, they're loaded up with lefty starters here, right? You've got Sal Frelick, Tyler Black, Bryce Terang. Like these guys are all left-handed hitters. So it's kind of a sparse lineup there. I don't mind using Reagan's in this matchup here as well. So Castillo at the top, Reagan's there in the middle. Manai I can pay down for. And then, yeah, like you pointed out, if you're playing like just in a regular 50-50, I don't mind using Simeon Woods Richardson against Seattle in this matchup. I think it's a perfectly fine matchup. He's looked good so far, hasn't been blanking everybody lights out, doesn't, less than a strikeout per inning. But for a cash game, if you're looking to minimize damage, I think that's a decent matchup for you.
I would agree with you. We talked Oakland a lot this season. Andrew Heaney's coming off of a couple of good outings. Like, we have to, limit our expectations, I guess, at times of Heaney, but 7 innings against Washington, which we kind of consider to be a tougher lineup to throw against. Some good performances. Seattle was pretty okay with the strikeouts. Oakland coming off all those runs, and their winning streak that they're on. Do you think Andrew Heaney at $6,600 merits any consideration?
Not really, especially because I'm looking at like Heaney's with the reverse splits, and the lefties are hitting them real hard right now. And Oakland does have some decent lefty bats, and then you've got some good right-handed guys there. I'm not going to say Oakland did not just use up all of their offense in Saturday's game. They're okay. So I'm not gonna lean towards Heaney. I don't like him as a pitcher as is anyway. So I'll avoid him.
Okay. Let's move on over to the catcher position then here. Again, usually the spot where we're just looking to take whatever value is there. Could go Jonah Heim at $4,200. We'll see if Herrera's in the lineup or not. He's actually playing today. So, but he says Manaya's there.
Dude, it's Omar Narvaez or Thomas Nido, whoever's starting for the Mets, $2,500 going up against Kyle Gibson.
That's basically that really is. That's basically the answer for sure.
I mean, unless we're really gonna pay up. I mean, we could pay up. I don't even want to pay up for the Contreras boys there.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. That's probably where we end up kind of just leaving ourselves. So,
for first base then.
First base then, yeah. You got the lefties on lefties against Garrett and Ohtani and Freeman. Not that matters. Alonso against Gibson at $5,300. Where are you looking top half of the first base position here?
I mean, listen, again, because we don't know how long Braxton Garrett's going to go. So are we really worried about constant lefty on lefty crime? No. So I think Ohtani and Freeman are both viable options there. Love Alonso against Gibson for sure. Michael Busch against, Yu Darvish is probably a direction that I don't mind taking. I mean, listen, if I've got the money to pay up for Pete Alonso, that would probably be my favorite option there. I mean, the Mets aren't a great team here, but when you're going up against Kyle Gibson, I think we're okay.
Okay. Mid-tier range, I don't mind Rhys Hoskins against Cole Reagan, just kind of the power that he brings. Pascantino against Wilson right there as well at $4,500. Probably fits some builds here. But again, after that, it kind of dumps down for me. I mean, we like Castillo, so I don't see us going many Twins here. JD Davis is back. Maybe you take a peek at him against Heaney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be, averse to that. We've talked Abraham Toro as well. He's going to be, locked in at first base. I don't mind using him against Heaney as well.
Yep, that also works for me. Any other first baseman for you?
No, I think once we're scraping down here at the bottom, I think we can just move on to second base.
Okay. At second base, Mookie's up at the top against a lefty. Semien also at a lefty against Wood. Those are your top two guys. Again, not that we find any issues playing any of them there. Do you find yourself looking to spend up here? Nico Horner homered the other day in the mid-tier and starting to steal some bags, so he's starting to come around. What are your thoughts on second base here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, first and foremost, I mean, I wish Arias wasn't going up against Steele. I wished he was going up against like the original, starter there. Because I really do like him. I think Horner is in a great spot here against Darvish. I agree with you on that front there. I'll use Xander Bogaerts against Justin Steele. I will do that since it's a lefty-righty matchup. Again, we start seeing some of the same names there as we scroll down. Toro, we can maneuver around here.
A lot of lefties on this slate kind of kills us because there's a lot of lefty bats that we generally like to plug against righties that we can't really attack those splits on. And then
Jeff McNeil against Gibson. There's one that we could look at.
Yep, I agree with you. That one's a pretty good.
Am I stacking Mets, Johnny?
You may just based off process of elimination there.
Oh my Lord.
I played Michael Massey the other day. He's been really good lately.
Okay.
$3,300. Has some pop to his bat. We saw him go through runs of power last season. I think I'd probably play Massey over McNeil against Wilson here.
Massey over McNeil against Wilson.
Yeah, he just has a little bit more pop to himself. I mean, it's been a while since McNeil was that 20 homer guy. Yeah, so third base position, Arenado's up at your top at 5,200 against Minaya.
No, thank you.
Machado. When do we get a Royce Lewis return? On target, it doesn't say. He's on target, but we don't get a date yet. Christopher Morel. I believe that on the show we said 4 shows ago, we said when Chris Morel hits his first home run, then we're going to lock him into lineups every day. 3 straight games at a homer since that day. I gotta go find the clip so we can tweet it out. He hits for power against righties, not even really worried about the Darvish matchup here.
Nope.
And this is what he does. He locks in for about a week and a half. He'll just be a menace. So if he's 3 straight games at a homer, play him till he doesn't at $4,500. Max Muncy homered 3 times yesterday. Also had him in my DFS lineup yesterday. Shout out to me for doing that. I did a full Dodger stack against Bryce Elder. That worked out beautifully. It is a lefty on lefty, but as we're talking about, like, how long is Garrett going to be in this game? And then the Dodgers against the Miami bullpen, I'd be okay playing Muncy here, thinking that people will see lefty, and maybe nobody plays Muncy in this spot. Yesterday, he was 20% against Elder. I bet he goes way less with the lefty on the mound here.
Yeah, probably.
So you got him there. We mentioned JD Davis already. You can play him at third. Beatty's still $3K. Tyler Nevin, $3,100, bumping him up a little bit, but he's cooled slightly because he is Tyler
Rojas Nevin. Hits lefties fairly well. You could go Nevin against Heaney. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Not a lot of other great stuff down here.
Not really. They might play Kike Hernandez. I don't really want to do that. So, is Woods Richardson a lefty already?
He's a righty.
Okay, never mind. I'd say Rias would be in the lineup versus lefty. All right, shortstop then. Got Mookie here again. Bobby Witt.
This, by the way, Mark Vientos. If he's in the lineup, I might be interested in him against Gibson. I think Vientos is, it's just a solid bat. I don't know if he's going to be in the lineup.
It says he got optioned. Did he get called back up?
Oh, did he get optioned?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. When did he get optioned? Today? Yesterday?
No, he got an option when JD was activated. He had a 3-game cup of coffee here.
Oh, what a bummer. Why is he still listed here then? DraftKings?
DraftKings always just has these guys. Half these guys aren't even playing.
All right. So, shortstop?
Sure. Again, you got Mookie.
Yep. Bobby Witt. Yep.
Seager. Lefty.
I might skip Seager on the lefty action there.
Okay. Ha-Seong Kim did homer the other day. No, he's still like. I think I might have said this on the show to you the other day. Like, this is a dude that if you're in a seasonal league, go find a way to get. And maybe the owners won't even part with him because he's got 5 homers and 6 stolen bases. If you go look at his FanGraph numbers, everything is basically on par or better than they were last year, except he has a 26% infield fly ball rate. As soon as those pop-ups to the infield turn into line drives or something like that, he's going to start raking. No player he's Willie Mays Hayes out here with infield pop-ups right now. Like, can we, if he straightens these things out a little bit, he's going to start roping line drives, and that batting average will come up. So, it's a little seasonal advice. Go see if you have some Kims available in your league, because the FanGraph numbers just suggest that he's due to break out of this here anytime now. And he does hit lefties historically better. Now, Steele, I think, is a pretty legit starter. Obviously an all-star last year, best pitcher the Cubs have. But as you mentioned, he's coming off the IL. It's maybe a little rust. I won't recommend Willie Castro against Castillo, but, I mean, you'd laughed at me, a week ago? And you're like, what does Willie Castro do? Well, now he's hitting almost 500 still, and this is 1,200 OPS still. So,
yeah, dude's on a 10-game hit streak right now.
Yeah.
I definitely did not see that coming. Now, I mean, the hits are great, and especially with the price being suppressed. Now it's creeping up a little bit more. I mean, but let's not forget that while he's hitting 476 over this 10-game hit streak, it's 1 home run, it's 8 RBI. It's 10 bases. It's 10 runs scored. How many steals?
3.
Okay. I mean, so it's great for sitting at 3,900 or lower. Great. Sure. Agreed. But as it starts to creep up right now, then, all of a sudden you're like, you have to wonder what kind of stats are you getting? Is it just the hits that you're building up there? Because I mean, what's he going to get then on regular, like 6 points for you? If he doesn't cross home plate?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when he cools down for sure. Over his last 9 games, he has 1 game under 10 fantasy points.
Right.
Okay. He's got 2 triples, 3 doubles over that span. So
that's crazy. Oh yeah, I think I wrote that in the waiver wire article because it took me by surprise so much. I was like, does he really have this many extra base hits right now?
Yeah, he's smoking the ball right now. And again,
smoking something.
He's not doing something right. Yeah, exactly. He was and go again. This is a DFS show. Go check out your waiver, your leagues. He's only 18% rostered right now. John picked him up on May 1st. He's not available in my league, but check your leagues. Maybe he's chilling out there. Mason wins down here 3,100. He's always a go-to value play for us, just for the stolen base potential, and he may lead off against a lefty here, so there's something to look at there. You've mentioned Joey Wendell a few times.
Yeah, but that was in jest.
Okay. Is Wendell the Mendick when Mendick isn't on the slate?
It might be.
When we hit Joey Wendell, we move on.
Once you hit Joey Wendell, we stop. We go to the next position here.
All right. Well, the next position is outfield. It's a much funner position to discuss here.
Much funner.
Where are we?
What happens when you use that Chat GPT too much and you let them do all the talking there, John? You start saying things like more funner.
I said much funner. It's
funner.
It's a phrase. It's okay.
It's not a phrase.
It can be,
but it's not.
I'm gonna Google it. Go ahead. What's your take here?
What do you mean? What's my take? It's the outfield, baby. Come on, load it up there. You're perfectly fine. It's so funny. Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia is the second highest priced outfielder out there, but I like him against Alex Wood. For sure. I like Fernando Tatis Jr. I think all these Padres are running a little hot right now. I think I would do that. We like Teoscar against the lefty. We do. So right off the bat there, Garcia, Tatis, Teoscar. That's probably if I'm going to pay all the way up. I mean, one of those guys is going to be the guy.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Well, who else do you want to go with?
No, I mean, again, on a smaller slate, we don't have the usual run of 5K guys. So I think that all kind of plays out pretty well. You have the Mets lefties there against Gibson in the mid-tier range. Where do we have? Where's Paez? There he is. Paez up to 4K. This dude's on fire.
He is, absolutely.
I mean, we a prospect that comes up and lives up to the hype here. 400, 1,100 OPS over the last 10. Power's coming around. Still kind of hitting in like the bottom half of the lineup, but that's fine. Guys are on base ahead of him. He's killing it. And then Brett Rooker's there. Same price, 4K. 3 homers last
Brett
2
Rooker's
games.
there. I would also keep an eye on Mike Tauchman. You jumped over him. He's actually been hitting real well lately. And I mean, this is a limited time for Tauchman now because once Seiya Suzuki comes back, and Talkman goes back to the bench or plays the bench the most. But this is a good opportunity for him. Just seeing these full-time at bats, and he's hot right now, so I don't hate that at 42 either.
Yeah, MJ Melendez against Wilson here. We didn't talk a lot of Cole Reagans, but as we're scrolling through, Milwaukee does have a lot of lefties in their lineup. So
I said that earlier. Are you kidding me?
Did you?
I said that at the beginning of the show.
I only half listened to the things you say, which is more than I listen to when Grande talks when we do the MLB NBA DFS show. I only quarter to listen to the words that are said there. B. Crow Armstrong is $3,500. I was once in a car ride with Mark Pitts, who does our MLB DFS show, and he told me a whole story. And when he was done talking, I said, "Wait, what?" I didn't listen to a word he said. He talked for like an hour.
Were you talking to me that whole time?
Yeah, honestly, he's like, "It's just you and I in the car." I said, "I was paying attention to the road, my dude." Pete Crow Armstrong cooling off a little bit. The price is up, but if you're looking for some value, maybe him there. Where do we go after that?
There's not a lot of great stuff there at the bottom. I mean, there really isn't. We could look down further, like to a Seth Brown against Andrew Heaney. If you think, well, no, Burleson probably won't be in the lineup against Manaea.
Right.
Who would they go with there? That's an interesting question there. Who would they go with if they're not going to use him? Why can't I get to this page? St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what their outfield would be.
Oh, Dylan Carlson's back.
Okay.
What's his price tag there?
I mean, listen.
What's that?
2,400.
Yeah. All right. So I would, if you're looking for just like a pay down, like a one-off, you might as well go with Dylan Carlson here going up against Manaea. I mean, he's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
So.
And he hits lefties well. That was his split. I'm pulling up the numbers right now. I think he led off against lefties at times last season. Lefties last year. Where is the numbers here? So he had a 340 WOBA last year against left-handed pitching. The year before that, 368. The year before that, 392. ISO sits around 170. Slugging percentage around 450. So yeah, I like the Dylan Carlson call there. I'll just plug that in now. That one works.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
So
let's build the lineup, here. Baby.
Castillo, what's our SP2?
I mean, see what happens if we get in
Reagans.
Yeah. Try Reagans and let's see where we go.
Okay.
Catcher, whoever the Met guy is.
Yeah, whatever the cheap Met pitcher is. All right. So 44.50. What was our number one spend on this one? Do we have a very obvious top play that we liked here? Again, all the Dodgers are on this slate.
I don't think that I had anybody. I don't think anybody really jumped out too much to me. But I mean, we could just make it Mookie Betts.
Okay,
I'm perfectly fine with setting it up with the Dodgers like that.
Okay, let's see. Do we have? So I like Massey at second. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll do Mookie at short. Okay, 42.50 or third base, outfield, and first base.
Okay.
Morel, because we just said we'll play until he stops homering.
Exactly.
All right, 4,100. We could go down and do JD Davis at 36 if you liked the A's.
I'd rather stack some Mets in there if we could, right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah. All right. Well, if we're gonna do that, we got Alonso gives us 36.
All right.
I don't think that really gives us much room to do any other Mets though. Does Bader play every day? Not really. I'd feel silly playing Mets outfielder, but without Alonso.
That's fine.
Maybe we you want
to do Nimmo and
well, we just want to have the money. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right.
We'd have to probably get rid of Mookie to do that if we did Nimmo.
Listen, again, I'm not glued to it.
Okay.
I'm not, I don't need to root for the Mets.
All right, let's do this. Hold on. Let's go bets.
And you want to pay down at first?
No, we'll keep Alonso as a one-off. We'll do Pages at 4K, and that gives us 3,200 as just a spend out on the outfield.
Okay.
Tyler Nevin as a one-off, 3,100.
Tyler Nevin is a one-off at 3,100.
There you go. So we got Betts and Pages for our Dodgers. Then we got a couple of one-offs running around here with Massey, Morel, Carlson, and Nevin with double spending at pitching. Again, it's a small slate. So double spending at pitching could be a contrarian way to go here. People may be looking to spend down and maybe they play more of a Reagan's Simeon Wood Richardson or something like that instead of Luis Castillo. So we'll have to figure out which way we're going to go when it comes to this slate. But just an example lineup: Luis Castillo, Cole Reagans, Omar Narvaez, Pete Alonso, Michael Massey, Christopher Morel, Mookie Betts, Dylan Carlson, Andy Pages, and Tyler Nevins. Any final thoughts here, Howard?
No, man. No real final thoughts. We'll see what happens with the lineups when they come out. And, we'll have a 4 p.m. live stream to kind of sift through everything else that we see. Works for me.
We certainly will. All right, everybody. Good luck with your lineup builds. We'll catch you all later.